Let's start with a fascinating fact. Researchers estimate that 40 to 50% of all of our actions on any given day are done out of habit. Wow. Ready for another knowledge bomb? The habits you repeat every day largely determines your health, your wealth, and your happiness. Going even deeper, habits are the path to changing your identity. There's so much to unpack in this life-changing book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Let's just start with what a habit is. A habit is a routine or behavior performed regularly, often automatically. It's something we hardly think about doing. Have you ever driven home and hardly remembered how you got there? When it comes to good habits, it's everything from exercising, to meditating, to writing in your journal. A habit is even drinking water. As for your bad ones, they include eating too much junk food, Netflix binging, and smoking. How do you build good habits and stop bad ones? Clear has some great strategies. First though, let's get some background on the man with the plan. In November 2012, Clear started a brand new email newsletter sharing his personal experiments with habits. He published twice a week, and within a few months, he had 1,000 subscribers. Pretty impressive. Fast forward to 2014, and that number ballooned to 100,000, making it one of the fastest growing newsletters on the internet. In just 2 years, he had become a habit expert. In 2015, he had 200,000 subscribers, and he signed a book deal with Penguin for the book we're reviewing right now. Today, Clear's newsletter is one of the most popular newsletters in the whole world. Every Thursday, the latest issue is sent to over 1 million people. Atomic Habits, the book, became a worldwide hit, making the bestseller list of the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and USA Today. To date, he sold over 5 million copies. Atomic Habits was the #1 best-selling book of 2021 on Amazon. That's among all books and all categories. It is also currently the #1 audiobook on Audible. The term Atomic Habits refers to the tiny incremental changes one can make to create good habits. What I love about the book is Clear's science-based approach, but also his storytelling examples. He drops in nuggets of knowledge in how the brain works and also provides clear strategies that are actionable. As he states, it's less academic paper and more operating manual. Though we'd all like that scale to move 10 pounds in one day, we all know that ain't happening. Success is the product of daily habits. So let's say you wanted to get better shape. Don't focus on the goal of losing 25 pounds. Focus on your systems instead. You focus on being the type of person who moves their body every day. Goals are the results you want. Systems are the processes that lead you to your desired result. Goals are good for setting a direction. Systems are best for making progress. To get motivated, make a habit a part of your identity. So instead of saying, I'm the type of person who wants to be healthy, say, I am healthy. Then, when faced with the dilemma, should I eat those delicious chocolate chip cookies? You say, would a healthy person eat this? Hell no! The focus is always on becoming that type of person, not getting a particular outcome. The reason you stick to a habit is because it becomes a part of your identity. So what's the process of changing your identity? First, decide the type of person you want to be. Then second, prove it to yourself with small wins. The process is deep. You need to ask yourself, who do I wish to become? That's the deep shit question only you can answer. If your identity plays such an important role in your behavior, where does it come from in the first place? Your identity emerges out of your habits. It's a self-improvement feedback loop. The more you repeat a behavior, the more you reinforce the identity associated with that behavior. Now, let's get into the meat of it. How do you build better habits? This is where it gets juicy. The processes of building a habit is laid out in 4 simple steps. Cue, craving, response, reward. This is the backbone of every habit. Cue is something that triggers your brain. Craving, the motivational force. Response is the actual habit you perform through a thought or an action. Reward is the end goal of the habit, The reward satisfies and teaches us. Lack any of these and there is no habit. Now, here's the genius part of Clear's work. He attaches his 4 laws of behavior change to these 4 steps. For cue, make it obvious. For craving, make it attractive. For response, make it easy. And for reward, make it satisfying. Let's start with number 1. Make it obvious. The first thing you need to do is be made aware of what habits we're actually doing. Clear suggests making a habit scorecard that lists all of your habits. Once you have a list, ask yourself what's a good one, what's a bad one, and what's a neutral one. You rate it based on these questions. Does this behavior help me become the type of person I wish to be? Or does this behavior cast a vote for my desired identity? Ooh, that's good. Basically, you're creating awareness. Next, formulate a plan for when and where you'll do your thing, like exercising. I will do this behavior at this time and at this location. Or I will bike at 6 a.m. every day on my Peloton. You're creating a concrete plan of action. We can also take a page from BJ Fogg's Tiny Habits Playbook by saying, after this current habit, I will perform this new habit. That's called habit stacking. For me, that's after I stop brewing my coffee, I will drink a large glass of water and take my vitamins. For my morning routine, I stack praying, meditating, daily devotional, writing in my gratitude journal, to-do list, and then writing in my actual journal all together in a nice big bow. Now let's talk environment. Are you a cookie person or a fruit person? Let's see. What do you have lying on your kitchen counter? How much easier is it to eat one of them when they're right in front of your face? Or how about this? How many Starbucks are there in your neighborhood? In mine, there's one on almost every street corner. They make it so easy to get that caramel crunch frappuccino. Did you know that of all of our senses, vision is the most powerful? The human body has 11 million sensory receptors, and about 10 million are dedicated to just sight. Some experts estimate that half of the brain's resources are used in vision. Why is this important? Visual cues are the most powerful. A small change in what you can see can lead to a big shift in what you do. That's why leaving your workout clothes out the night before is a good visual cue for you to exercise the next morning. Here's one of those beautiful knowledge gems I'd like to drop. You don't have to be the victim of your environment. You can also be the architect of it. Damn, let that sink in. Now, let's take a look at a bad habit. If you want to cut it off, reduce your exposure to it or make it invisible. That's what I did with my Instagram. Everyone who made me feel bad about myself, jealous, envious, all that, I unfollowed. As an ex-smoker, I had to physically throw away my cigarettes outside in the stinky garbage can so I wouldn't be tempted to dig it out of the trash can in the house. Moving on to Law 2, make it attractive. Now we're moving into craving, the second part of creating habits. Here, we can alter our craving by working with dopamine, a neurotransmitter in our brain. Dopamine is released not only when you experience pleasure, but when you anticipate it. When dopamine rises, so does your motivation to act. What gets us to act? The anticipation of the reward. Who here loves the anticipation of Christmas, those days leading up to it, more than opening the presents on Christmas Day? So, how do we get our habits to be more attractive? Temptation bundling. It's a way to get you to do a desired habit by connecting it to something you already want to do. Only listen to audiobooks or podcasts you love while jogging. Ask Alexa to play your favorite songs when you do laundry or clean the dishes. I love sipping hot coffee, but I have a lot tougher time meditating, so I sip coffee while I meditate. How can others support you on your habit journey? One of humans' deepest desires is to belong. Behaviors become attractive when they help us fit into 3 groups. Those closest to us, the many, and the powerful. The closest to us are the people around us who have habits that you want to have. Join that book club or meet up with fellow photographers. Here's something interesting. In a study, they found that if one person in a relationship loses weight, the other partner slimmed down 1/3 of the time. Honey, let's start that intermittent fasting. The Medi. This is like combing through Amazon reviews to see how other people rank a product. 5 stars for Good Earth sweet and spicy tea? Bye, bye, bye! The Powerful. Humans want power, prestige, and status. Once we fit in, we want to stand out. We look to those we admire and want to follow their success tips. Reframe habits. I like this bit from Claire. If there's nothing you get from this video, but this part, it'll be worth it. Change I have to I get to. I have to pick up the kids goes to I get to pick up the kids. You change a chore or burden into a pleasurable activity. You can also reframe I am nervous to I am excited. Motivational ritual is when you take a habit you enjoy and use that as a cue to get motivated. I also make a hot cup of coffee and sip it while I read. Decaf at night. Let's move on to the third law, make it easy. First, let's take motion versus action. Motion is planning and strategizing, but action delivers outcomes. In dieting, I can look for the next fad diet online or read books about it, or I can actually eat healthy meals and exercise. Claire has a 2-minute rule, which is when you start a new habit, make sure it takes less than 2 minutes to do. Instead of reading a book a day, you read a page. For me, that looks like meditating for 2 minutes instead of 20, or biking for 10 minutes instead of 45. One-time choices. I like this part too. What one-time choice can you make in your life that requires a bit of effort up front, but can create value over time? Here's what I do for my health. I use smaller plates or bowls of food, especially for rice. For happiness, I own 2 dogs. For sleep, I tested out over 20 pillows till I found the perfect one. Coop Home Goods Eat in Bed pillow for sleeping. For productivity, I stopped all of my text ads and deleted all of the apps I don't use on my phone. I also cleaned out my wallet of all the business cards I don't need, and on my keychain, I took off all the keys I no longer use. The idea is to remove friction in your life. Finally, we've come to Law 4. Make it satisfying. We are more likely to repeat a behavior if it's satisfying. This is when the brain says, oh, this is good, it feels good, more please. Did you know that toothpaste flavors like mint don't improve the effectiveness of it? They simply create the feeling of a clean mouth, making brushing your teeth more pleasurable. While the first 3 lies make it obvious, attractive, and easy, make you want to do a habit, making it satisfying increases the odds that you'll do a habit again. But there's a trick. You should get immediate satisfaction. So what can you do? Make the end of the habit satisfying. Use a reinforcement or an immediate reward. Do 30 minutes on the Peloton and then drop some eucalyptus oil in the shower. Let it steam up and voila! You've created your own spa experience. The last few ways to keep a habit going include having an accountability partner or creating a habit contract, making the cost of missing the good habit public and painful. You can also keep a habit tracker. Claire has one at Bear and Fig called the Claire Habit Journal. I just started mine today and it was fun putting those little X's in the boxes after completing a habit. If you can't get enough of habits, who can? Claire has a free program called 30 Days to Better Habits. It's a 30-day email course with 12 total emails, an introduction, and 11 lessons. You'll receive a lesson every 3 days. I just got my first official lesson today. The program comes with this workbook. It's super well organized, just like the book Atomic Habits. Claire has a way of making good habits seem fun. Call me a James Clear superfan. Wow, wasn't that all great? So who is this book for? People who want to lose weight, quit smoking, or achieve success. It's also for leaders of organizations and athletes. If you'd like to dive deeper into habits, check out my review of Tiny Habits. So long!